All right. We're gonna talk about movie soundtracks. Fun, right? Okay. When I was a kid, I remember buying the Space Jam soundtrack. You know, the original one, the shitty sequel. Uh, you know, a badass one. And man, that soundtrack was great. Didn't it have R. Kelly singing "Fly Like an Eagle"? I'm pretty sure that was R. Kelly. And then there's like a song "Basketball Jones." It's like, I got a basketball Jones. I got a basketball Jones, oh baby, ooh, ooh, ooh. And even the final track, I remember jamming that where Bugs Bunny rapping, and apparently that was Jay-Z that wrote that Bugs Bunny rap. So I guess that's kind of cool. I'm not really a big fan of Jay-Z. Do you remember when he did that Linkin Park Jay-Z crossover? That's kind of cool. I like the idea of that, but I was never really a big fan of Jay-Z, you know? And then here's a funny a tip. If you ever think your friend is suicidal, put on a Linkin Park song, and if he sings the Michael, what was it? I'm sorry, if he sings the Mike Shinoda part, he's fine. But if he sings the Chester Bennington part, yeah, he's probably suicidal. That's a fun tip. But yeah, about Jay-Z, I was never really a fan of his after he married Beyonce, and I can talk about that right now about Beyonce. That I think she's gotten too up high, you know, like on her high horse, and she needs to be knocked down. Because honestly, I loved Destiny's Child as a kid, and even when they did that Charlie's Angels soundtrack. Hey, look there's the soundtrack, right? We're staying on track here. Destiny's Child had some great fucking songs, and then Beyonce goes solo. She does the Austin Powers movie, right? Which, I mean, it was Austin Powers movie, so you know it was good, but she was like the weakest part of the movie. Single Ladies was a banger though. Fuck yeah, you know. I don't know if it was the greatest video of all time, but you know, whatever. But now you go to like Lemonade or Becky with the Good Hair or whatever you have her putting out right now that really makes no sense. It's just written by like 20 different writers. And it's like, oh, hey, I'm Beyonce. You have to like it, or you don't like pop music, or it's racist or something. Honestly, on black female solo artist totem pole, I think Rihanna should be at the top. Fucking great voice. She even right. I think isn't she pregnant right now? She looks fucking great pregnant. And then if you look at like the history of other of singers in that category, man, you've got Tony Braxton. Oh man, I would jam. He wasn't man enough for me so much when I was a kid. I'd be like, hell yeah, Tony with a voice like that. No man is man enough for you. Lauryn Hill was great too. Very underrated now. I think she was in Austin like a few years back, so I hope she's doing well. Janet Jackson, the Nutty Professor 2 soundtrack, dude. Doesn't really matter the way I see it, till I'm up and a bit of people. Man, the Nutty Professor 2 movie, it was good. Of course, the first one's like a fucking classic, but the soundtrack of the sequel, very, very, very good. And yeah, Janet Jackson, like in Scream with her brother Michael Jackson, where he cusses and you're like, oh my god, Michael, you said a bad word. Hee hee hee. God, I love Michael Jackson. I need to talk more about Michael Jackson. He's a fucking. But I'm talking about black female singers, not a black one turned white, and then yeah. Oh, dude, Aaliyah was good. Taken way, way too early, like Selena. Rest in peace. And man, that "Try Again" song by Aaliyah. And I love how Timbaland has like his telephone voice on all the songs where he's like, been a long time, but you the late dude. Pick up, baby girl. But yeah, if you ask me who the best female like black artist, singer, solo, whatever you want to call it, I say Donna Summer. She is the apex of that category, the apex predator. Just look her up. I'm not gonna do her voice justice on here, but she is like the GOAT. Like, she's done a lot of hits for a lot of years, and yeah, she's fucking great. Speaking of black female artists, though, there's the segue. The soundtrack to the Disney animated film Hercules is also top tier. And yes, I love The Little Mermaid, and everyone's all wet about Tarzan and on all over Phil Collins' balls. But I'm saying Hercules has a perfect soundtrack. I am on my way. I could go the distance. Or that Meg girl singing that doo-wop shit like, no chance, no way. I won't say I'm in love. Doo 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 doo. Perfection. Such a great Disney movie. I swear, if they remake that shit, we riot. Nah, I'm sure I'll watch it. Just like the Little Mermaid remake, and everyone's losing their minds about a black girl playing a mermaid. Dude, like, wait until it comes out and then shit on it if you want, but it's just a trailer. You have no idea how it's gonna fucking play out, you know? This isn't like when they did the Sonic trailer and he looked all fucking retarded and shit. And it was like, oh crap, we gotta change this now, you know? I mean, are y'all gonna flip out if the crab Sebastian doesn't talk like a stereotypical Jamaican? Or do you want him to go like glub, 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 underwater sound glub, actual crab sound glub? Whatever, it's just a fucking movie. The last soundtrack I want to talk about is called Reefer Madness, the movie musical. And if you've never heard of this movie, I don't blame you. It was like an old Showtime original film, and I don't think it did very well, like at the box office when it came out. I think it came out right before 9/11. I don't know why I know that. It's just what I know. But man, like, I love this fucking movie. The fucking soundtrack is great. I know every single word because I've seen it so many times. Pretty sure it's free with ads on Amazon Prime if like you do want to see it. Sponsor me, Amazon Prime, even though I steal shit from you. But yeah, it has like a young Kristen Bell. No, I think it's Kristen. And Christian Campbell, which, if you don't know him, he's the little brother of Neve Campbell. When, if you don't know her, she's the main character from the Scream franchise. I said that wrong, right? Hey, that ties into Halloween pretty well, huh? But yeah, Reefer Madness is goofy and colorful and just a fun movie with like a perfect soundtrack, you know? So go watch Reefer Madness. And okay, I lied. That wasn't the last soundtrack I was going to talk about. Chicago. Where are all my CM Punk fans at? Is that... No, that's Chris... That's Chris Benoit's soundtrack. Man, rest in peace, Chris Benoit. Dude, Chicago with Renee Zellweger, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Richard Gere. That soundtrack in movie's perfection too. It's fucking good. It actually won the Academy Awards for Best Picture in 2003. It's crazy, right? I don't think musicals ever really win shit. But yeah, the Cell Block Tango goes fucking hard. Queen Latifah does a song, goes fucking hard. Catherine Zeta-Jones dances her ass off and goes fucking hard. Oh, and speaking of hard, John C. Reilly's in that movie too in Chicago, which, I mean, I know him as Dr. Steve Brule or from Step Brothers, but I mean, I know Linda's gonna fucking tell me shit if I don't talk about this, but he was in Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story, which is a movie soundtrack too in itself. Huh, wow, what a coincidence. I like how that's staying on track. But yeah, Walk Hard is okay. Linda's gonna be all whatever if I don't talk about that movie like it's fucking perfection, but it's not bad. I don't like jam it like I would Reefer Madness or the Hercules soundtrack, but it's an okay movie. You know, I'm sure it has good music in it. Speaking of movies now, I was thinking of the scariest movies I saw as a kid. And man, I feel like any kid my age back then was scared of Chucky, right, when it first came out. I remember seeing clips of it playing on TV, and I was like, nah, yeah, I don't want to watch that shit. I was easily scared as a kid. I also remember seeing a little bit of the Puppet Master back when, you know, that would play like at the video store on the TV that you could preview shit, and yeah, that fucking Pinhead and the Drill Head and the Leech Woman would just creep me out. Now as an adult, watching it kind of just cracks me up, you know, but back then, yeah, as a kid, I was fucking scared. And I remember when I was like super young, seeing My Boyfriend's Back, which isn't even really a scary movie. It's like a comedy romance movie. And I don't know why, but that gave me nightmares. It scared me so bad, and I can't remember why. And I swear, like now I could watch it over and over again. It's like one of my favorite movies. It's so cliche, but so fucking good, you know? Like it knows what it's doing. And a fun fact about My Boyfriend's Back is that's one of Matthew McConaughey's first like roles, like his first movie credits. Like there's a part where the main characters are in a movie theater, and something happens, and Matthew McConaughey just gets up and he's like, "Hey, look at that!" Like that's that's it. That's all he did. But he's credited as that role as movie theater guy or something. Philip Seymour Hoffman is in it too. He's like a goofy bully, you know, like with a backwards hat and all that. But yeah, oh man, My Boyfriend's Back so good. Do you remember, man, this is old. Do you remember Ernest Scared Stupid? Dude, those fucking trolls in that movie were scary as fuck. And then how they would turn kids into little wooden monitos and hide them in the tree. I know it was a kid's Halloween like movie comedy, but God, that was way scarier than it had to be. Or the old Goosebumps movie, The Haunted Mask, like that 1 hour long 2-parter. God, man, that shit used to scare me so bad back in the day. Like, and I don't know, I just was always so easily scared back when. So I guess you could see why that would scare me. But I don't know. I guess that's a good place to end it for today. Again, I'm gonna tell you to go watch Reefer Madness, the movie musical, on Amazon Prime. Right? It's free with ads. Go watch My Boyfriend's Back if you haven't seen it, because it's such a great movie. And go watch Ghost with Patrick Swayze, because I feel like that's technically a Halloween movie because there's ghosts in it. But I mean, that movie's just perfect too. Fucking The Righteous Brothers, oh my love, when they're fucking doing that romantic scene with the clay pot and shit. But yeah, go watch Ghost too. Go watch all those movies. And yeah, take care and, you know, stay safe.